Hey there everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you all had a good day out there. We're just having another hot day. I'm going to probably be saying that for the next 2.5 months, but it is the truth. But it's all good, man. The watermelon streak still continues. I'm just getting beautiful watermelons, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I'll get a couple of more this afternoon. But anyhow, I just want to do it. This is kind of a little impromptu video today. I want to share with you my raw vegan corn chowder recipe. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate if you go down and hit that subscribe button now. Then be sure you click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. Now, if you've watched me for a while, you may be saying, hadn't he done corn soups, corn chowders before? And the answer is yes. But I'm always just playing in the kitchen, so sometimes when I'll put something together and it really comes together even better, I'll do another video of it, because that's how I'm always updating, redoing. That's what I'm saying. I don't really work from set recipes. I just kind of throw stuff together. But one thing I'm learning, and people always say, well, why don't you add a little bit of this? Why don't you add a little bit of that? Sometimes less is better. Sometimes you start, I used to do that when I was first playing in the kitchen. I'd say, oh, well, let's add a little bit of this. Let's add a little bit of this. And some things kind of cancel out each other or overpower each other. So now when I'm making things, I'm always thinking about how few ingredients I can put into it. And there's a number of ingredients in here, but I believe they were all necessary in here. So the first thing we're starting out with is I've got a clove or two of garlic. I say a clove or two because that really depends on your taste, and it sort of depends on me. Now this time I used 1 clove of garlic, but sometimes I really like a heavier garlic flavor, but I'm also learning with that garlic that garlic can be an overpowering type thing. So I'd say try 1 clove of garlic. I've got just a little bit shy of 2 cups of corn. And once again, the amounts, I'm just telling you because, people always want to know. So I said, okay, I'm going to write down and tell the exact amounts that I use. So I used almost 2 cups of corn, fresh corn I got this morning up at one of our little local stores. The juice of 1 lime, an Italian zucchini, the kind of green little zucchinis. It was probably about a medium-sized one, about like that. A red bell pepper. Had a fairly good sized red bell pepper. I kind of wanted the flavor. That's a good mix with corn. It's funny, when I was a kid, I hated bell peppers. Or maybe I thought I hated bell peppers, because most people eat green bell peppers. I find those things disgusting. I hate a green bell pepper. And I remember too, even I didn't even like them on things. I remember back in the day, in college or whatever, on pizza. If somebody ordered green pepper on a pizza, I hated it or didn't want to touch it. But red pepper, I've come to find that I like a lot, and I use it in a number of things, and it just adds a really good flavor. And I like that mix of corn and red pepper. So I added a red bell pepper in there. I'm saying jalapeno to taste. Everybody, every time I mention jalapenos, they get all bold and like, I'll eat a whole jalapeno. Now, I'm wondering if we're talking about full-on real jalapenos full of seeds, because if you de-seeded them, I could eat a jalapeno, and I've always been pretty good with spice, but I cut 1 little piece that's got a bunch of seeds in there. A lot of times I'll use 1 tiny piece. It's probably not even 1/10 of the jalapeno, and it puts some fire in there. So once again, that's just by you, but jalapeno to taste. I put a splash of Bragg's in there. I put just a little bit of smoked paprika. Once again, I used to be kind of heavy-handed when I would use things like that in a recipe. And towards the end, it was just almost like kind of flavors that were trying to cancel each other out. So once again, simple, although there's still a fair number of ingredients in here, so it's not super simple. Went with dill. Now, you could really use any herb. I just happened to, at that same little local store, they had a little special on, or not a special, but they have these herbs from time to time that you can get a small amount for $1. So I'd gotten dill. Very good with basil as well. Actually, basil's probably one of my favorite herbs, but I like basil and dill equally, so you could use either one in this one. Did I already say smoked paprika? I think I might have said smoked paprika, but just to make sure, I don't want to stop and go back and check, so I'll say smoked paprika. Once again, not a whole lot of that, and I may have just repeated myself there. And then a little bit of Himalayan pink salt and just a little bit of black pepper. And I ground it up, and it's a nice thick consistency there. I'm not going to turn it too much, but nice thick consistency there, although a little bit green. Oh, and the main event that made it really thick, I put an avocado in there. Now you could probably blend half an avocado in there, but I wanted to go with the whole avocado. It's funny, you know, sometimes I won't eat an avocado for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. Then I get a good bunch at one time, and I buy them. So I've probably had, this will probably be like the 3rd whole avocado, maybe 4th avocado I've had this week. No big sweat. Like I say, it's always a matter of balance. Just because I do that today doesn't mean every day I'm eating a full avocado. And on the other hand, when I'm talking about sometimes like, yeah, I didn't add any overt fats today, doesn't mean I'm zero. It's all like a microcosm. These videos are just like, you know, one day or sometimes one meal in time. So don't assume from one video, you know, that I'm doing the same exact thing all the time. Now what I'm going to do to kind of get a little bit extra nutrition in there is I've got some mung bean sprouts that I sprouted and made a couple of days ago, and actually they got ready. I started, it was about a 4 or 5 day sprouting process, and I sprouted them. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of these on top of there. It gives it a nice little bit of extra nutrition in there, a little bit of crunch. And yeah, sprouts are good. Now somebody's gonna ask me, I can't make a whole video out of sprouting. It would be like a 25-second video. You would read the back of this thing. Now I'm using this particular, it's called High Mowing Organic Seeds. But and I know this isn't part of a recipe, but just to let you know, that's why I can't do like a whole video, because there's the instructions right on the back. Place 2 tablespoons of sprouting seeds in the jar, add 2 cups of cool fresh water, cap with sprouting lid, and soak seeds for 8 hours. I usually do that, soak them overnight. The next morning, with cap on, drain, rinse with fresh water, drain again, and store jar upside down in a clean bowl at an angle so water can continue to drain. Cover with a towel to keep light out. Well, I have one of those, a blue mason jar, so that keeps the light out. And you just repeat that process day after day. You just a couple of times a day, you pour water in there, you shake them, rinse them a little bit, pour it out, and then you put it back upside down like that. And you do this, and it's generally within about 4 days, boom, they're ready to be eaten. And then I give them one last rinse. I put them in my container, put them in the fridge, and I put them in a lot of different things. What did I put them in? I put them in a taco salad the other day. I love them in soups. You know, this is, well, it's sort of a green soup with the avocado, but this isn't one of my hardcore green soups with all the spinach and stuff, but they're really nice in a green soup. So anyhow, like I say, then I'll probably at some point do another corn soup or a corn chowder recipe, because I'm always adapting, I'm always playing. Even though I wrote this down for this one, the next time that I get a taste for corn soup, I won't remember this, and I probably won't have kept this around, and I will build it again, and I'll build it maybe similar, maybe different. Depends on what I want to put in there. Maybe I don't have a red pepper that time, but anyhow, just get in the kitchen and play. That's really all I do. It's all I do, and that's why I'm kind of resistant when people are always recipe. There is no real recipe. Well, there's kind of an evolving recipe, an evolving way that I like to make things, but anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Give it a try if you will, and let me know what you think. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, please, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.